Welcome, friends, to Ancient Wisdom. In today's fast-paced and chaotic world, pressure and fatigue have become unwelcome companions, leaving many people feeling trapped in an endless cycle of stress and exhaustion. However, escaping this state does not mean avoiding responsibility. Instead, it's about learning to face life's demands with wisdom, mindfulness, and balance. The first step to escaping pressure and fatigue is identifying their root causes. Most often, these stem from taking on too many commitments and setting unrealistic expectations, whether imposed by others or ourselves. We live in a society that glorifies busyness, where productivity is often mistaken for self-worth. To break free from this mindset, you must reassess your priorities. What truly matters? Align your actions with your core values and boldly let go of tasks or responsibilities that do not serve your goals. This will help lighten your mental load and ease emotional strain. Learning to establish boundaries is also essential. Many people feel overwhelmed because they cannot say no, fearing judgment or disappointing others. But setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, it's about protecting yourself. Prioritizing self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Don't hesitate to rest or step back when you're feeling overwhelmed. This is not a sign of weakness, but a vital step toward maintaining your health and well-being. Additionally, letting go is a powerful tool for managing pressure. Take time to pause, breathe deeply, and focus on the present moment. Don't allow yourself to be consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. Simple practices like meditation, journaling, or walking in a peaceful setting can help you restore energy and regain balance. Finally, don't forget to build a support system. Sharing your struggles with trusted friends, family, or professionals can provide relief and offer new perspectives. Sometimes just talking about your challenges is enough to lighten the burden. Escaping pressure and fatigue isn't about avoiding life's difficulties, but about confronting them with clarity and renewed strength. By prioritizing what truly matters, setting clear boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and seeking support, you can create a life filled with peace and energy, even in the midst of life's challenges. Remember, self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity for growth and fulfillment. People are unhappy because they think too much. There's an old saying, it's not that we hold too little, but that we calculate too much. This rings true in a world where comparison and endless striving often overshadow contentment. We look at others' happiness, feeling as though we're falling behind. But what we see is merely a facade, only they know the truth of their struggles. Human desires are boundless, constantly pushing us toward higher goals, greater achievements, and the illusion of having it all. When we succeed, the joy is fleeting. When we fail, the disappointment can linger for a lifetime. The truth is, perfection doesn't exist. Life's beauty lies in its imperfections. By navigating failures, we learn to cherish success and find meaning in the journey, not the destination. Do you know why people suffer? It's because they chase too much. Life doesn't always unfold as planned. Yet, we label our challenges as suffering, forgetting that others may bear far heavier burdens. Wisdom lies in understanding that some dreams are unattainable, some questions will never be answered, and some stories will remain unfinished. True suffering doesn't stem from circumstances but from our resistance to acceptance. Overthinking magnifies simple problems, turning them into insurmountable obstacles. Learn to let go. Release your mental burdens, embrace life's unpredictability, and face each day with calmness. When you allow life to flow naturally, you'll find peace and simplicity. People are troubled because they remember too much. We cling to the things that should be forgotten and dismiss what truly matters. There's wisdom in the saying, fools are lovable. Fools are lovable because they let go of grievances, the harsh words of others, and the endless battles for recognition and power. They live in the moment, untouched by the weight of the past, and find happiness in their simplicity. But many of us resist being fools, even at the cost of our peace. We cling to pain, harbor grudges, and replay conflicts in our minds. If only we could remember what's worth remembering and let go of the rest, life would feel like a fresh start every day. Happiness doesn't require perfection. It asks for perspective. Let go of the past, loosen the grip of overthinking, and embrace the imperfect beauty of the present moment. Only then can you discover the joy that's been waiting within you all along. People are insatiable because their desires are too great. The ancients wisely said, "A contented person is always happy." Yet how many of us truly embody this mindset? The issue isn't that we lack possessions or opportunities, It's that our desires stretch far beyond our means. The world is vast, brimming with endless temptations, dreams to chase, and distractions to draw us away. In the face of such allurements, how many lose themselves? How many can stand firm amidst it all? To be content is to master our desires, to resist the urge to chase every fleeting pleasure, and to anchor ourselves in life's essentials. People are unhappy because they lack satisfaction. Happiness is subjective, shaped by each person's perspective and priorities. Those who find joy in the simplest things experience happiness more often. As the saying goes, happiness is like a pyramid. The higher you climb, the scarcer it becomes. In truth, happiness isn't an elusive treasure hidden far away, it's an intimate feeling of the soul. It resides in the everyday moments we often overlook. A smile, a kind gesture, a quiet moment of gratitude. When we slow down to notice, we realize happiness has always been near, waiting for us to see it. People are tired because they overthink. The ancients also taught, physical fatigue isn't as terrifying as mental exhaustion. In life, weariness is inevitable, caused either by circumstances or by our own relentless thoughts. Some people know how to let go, quickly moving past setbacks and savoring life's pleasures. Others linger in their worries, replaying doubts and fears until they're drained. The key is simple: think less, live more. Life's wisdom lies in simplicity. The one who understands you best is yourself. Life will never be a seamless journey. The days will pass regardless, so why not choose to live them with joy and contentment? Joy and sorrow are the twin threads of existence. We cannot escape either, but we can decide which thread to weave into the fabric of our lives. Dear friends, life offers countless ways to live, and there's no single correct path. Some seek fame and fortune, savoring opulence and refinement. Others choose simplicity, contentment, and peace. No matter the path, there's no need to compare yourself to others or diminish your own worth. What suits you is what's best. The ancients said it best: to know contentment is to be rich, to be kind-hearted is to be good, and to remain calm is to be a sage. By embracing this wisdom, we can cultivate a life of fulfillment and inner peace, living authentically and meaningfully on our own terms. To know contentment is to be rich. Living with endless desires and insatiable greed often leads to more harm than good. Those who find contentment and happiness within themselves live richer, more fulfilling lives, untouched by the burdens of comparison and excess. There's a story about a fisherman in a small coastal village. He valued simplicity and avoided overworking, so he made a fishing net no bigger than a table. Though he fished daily, he rarely caught much. One day, his neighbor suggested that a larger net would yield more fish. Inspired, the fisherman wove a bigger net, catching more than ever before. This success sparked a thought: if a larger net brings more fish, wouldn't the largest net bring in the most? He shut himself away and crafted the largest net he could manage. But when he cast it into the sea, it caught so many fish that the net became impossibly heavy. Struggling to pull it in, the weight capsized his boat. In that moment, he realized bigger isn't always better, and unchecked greed often backfires. The ancients taught us, no matter how wealthy you are, you still eat only 3 meals a day. No matter how large your bed, you still sleep in one spot. Life is not inherently painful, it's our excessive desires that make it so. The heart grows weary not on its own, but through endless comparisons. We are troubled not because we lack, but because we desire too much. The wiser a person becomes, the fewer their desires, and the deeper their contentment. Inner peace and stability are treasures no amount of wealth can replace. To be kind-hearted is to be good. Kindness is the cornerstone of a good and meaningful life. Kind people don't scheme, deceive, or act with hidden motives. They are honest, responsible, and wise, choosing to understand without exploiting and to know without exposing. From ancient times to today, the kind-hearted have always been blessed. There's a tale of a locksmith renowned for his craft. As he grew older, he sought to pass his legacy to one of his 2 apprentices. To test them, he buried 2 boxes 10 miles from the city and asked each apprentice to retrieve and return the contents. The first apprentice returned in half an hour with half a box of gold, earning admiration from bystanders. The second apprentice took over an hour and returned with only a box of radishes. Yet, the locksmith chose the second apprentice as his heir. Why? The first apprentice, consumed by greed, had had hidden half the gold for himself. Meanwhile, the second apprentice, upon encountering beggars along the way, shared the gold with them out of compassion. In gratitude, they gave him a box of radishes. This story illustrates a timeless truth. Cleverness pales in comparison to kindness, and scheming never outweighs honesty. Those who rely on cunning have narrow, calculating hearts, often alienating themselves from others. In contrast, kind-hearted individuals earn trust, respect, and assistance in times of need. Kindness is the highest form of emotional intelligence. While it may seem like a disadvantage in the short term, it builds a foundation of blessings that grow with time. A kind heart invites fortune, nurtures goodwill, and opens doors to a life of fulfillment and peace. To remain calm is to be a sage. A renowned Chinese host once remarked, "Only 5% of life is extraordinary. Another 5% is filled with suffering, and the remaining 90% is simply ordinary." Yet, people spend their lives chasing the extraordinary, enduring the suffering, and forgetting to embrace the beauty in the ordinary. Life is inherently full of ups and downs, unfairness, and unexpected challenges. Complaining about misfortune changes nothing, but facing it with a calm heart transforms how we endure it. Zhang Banqiao, a celebrated writer from the Qing dynasty, exemplified this wisdom. Known for his compassion and dedication to helping others, Zhang became a government official to serve the people. However, he soon realized the political arena was filled with petty rivalries and corruption that hindered his aspirations. Frustrated, he resigned from his position, choosing instead to live a modest life painting and writing. In this simplicity, he found the peace and fulfillment that eluded him in power. In life, being overly cautious often reflects self-doubt, while relentless pursuit can lead to self-destruction. True happiness and a meaningful existence stem not from complexity, but from simplicity and a calm, steady attitude. Life happens only once. To know contentment is wisdom, to practice kindness is emotional intelligence, and to live simply and peacefully, that is the hallmark of a truly enlightened person. Dear friends, life is like an unending river, with waves constantly pushing us forward. Challenges come one after another, and if we cling too tightly to the pursuit of gains, the fear of losses, or the allure of fame, our lives will inevitably be weighed down by suffering and regret. Most of life's moments will not unfold as we envision. Why not meet hardships with optimism? Release negativity, let go of stubbornness, and free your heart from unnecessary burdens. By doing so, the weariness of life will begin to fade, and happiness will naturally find its way to you. To let go is not to give up, but to understand that holding on to what weighs us down serves no purpose. Release the need for control over things beyond your grasp. Release grudges that poison your spirit. Release the pursuit of perfection that leaves you perpetually dissatisfied. Embrace calmness. By finding contentment in the ordinary, choosing kindness in the face of adversity, and remaining steadfast through life's waves, you can transform even the most turbulent moments into opportunities for growth and inner peace. Let go of what does not serve you, and you will find that fatigue, both of the body and the soul, will gradually fade away. In its place, a calm and fulfilling life will emerge, like the still waters of a river at peace. 1. Let go of resentment. The sky alternates between clarity and clouds, just as life oscillates between favorable and unfavorable circumstances. When you approach conflicts with frustration, the burden doubles. But if you meet them with inner calm, the weight is naturally halved. As the saying goes, the scene is born from the heart. Carrying resentment transforms the world around you into a bleak and desolate place. Harboring resentment in the face of adversity only deepens the shadows in your life, dragging you further into despair. Resentment is like an unrelenting shadow, feeding on your daily distress, corroding your soul, and planting seeds of pessimism. The broader and more open your heart, the less resentment it will hold. Just as the vast ocean accepts all things without complaint, so too should we let go of grudges and move forward. To truly let go of resentment, you must learn to forget. Clinging to the inability to forget traps you in sadness and bitterness. True forgiveness is not saying, "I forgive, but will never forget." That is merely a facade, masking the weight you continue to carry in your heart. An American author once said, "Forgiveness is the key to unlocking the door of resentment and the handcuffs of hatred. It is the power that breaks the chains of bitterness and the shackles of selfishness." Letting go of resentment is an act of liberation, a step toward emotional clarity and freedom. 2. Let go of laziness. In today's materialistic world, the wealthy bask in luxury while the less fortunate often envy their ease. Comfort and leisure are universally sought, but when leisure morphs into laziness, it ceases to be a blessing and becomes a silent disaster. Laziness is deceptive. It masquerades as rest and relaxation, yet it leaves you feeling empty, weak, and uninspired. Prolonged idleness is the fastest path to stagnation. History is filled with examples of failure born from laziness. Mediocrity thrives in those who lack diligence. As the saying goes, laziness is peculiar. It tricks you into believing it is rest, comfort, and happiness. But in truth, it leaves you dull, weak, and depressed. Once laziness takes root, it leads to procrastination, unfinished tasks, and poor outcomes. It fosters dependency, complacency, and a lack of ambition. Over time, it erodes self-respect, weakens confidence, and leaves you adrift without purpose. Laziness arises from complacency and an aversion to effort. Those who wish to achieve greatness must cultivate diligence and perseverance, avoiding the temptation of ease. As the old saying reminds us, heaven rewards diligence. Hard work and dedication are virtues of immeasurable value, paving the way to both personal growth and meaningful achievement. Let go of laziness and embrace a life of purpose. For every step of effort you take, the rewards are far greater than the fleeting comfort of idleness. 3. Let go of jealousy. Jealousy and envy are like poison. They harm not only others, but also corrode your own soul. A jealous heart feels uneasy when others achieve success, disrupting inner balance and peace. Some go so far as to obstruct or harm others, allowing jealousy to breed malicious thoughts and actions. But this path not only hurts others, it traps the jealous person in a cycle of misery and despair. In truth, every individual walks their own unique path. There is no need to envy what others have or covet their achievements. The world is vast, and we are but small parts of it. Why confine yourself to a cage of negativity and bitterness? Focus on fulfilling your own responsibilities and goals, and what is meant to come your way will arrive naturally. As the saying goes, if it is meant to be yours, it will come. If not, do not force it. When you see others possessing what you lack, let it inspire rather than frustrate you. Cultivate kindness, perform good deeds, and trust that blessings will find you in time. Acting out of envy only invites regret. Is it truly worth the cost? The ancients taught us to approach others with tolerance and compassion, celebrate others' joys and empathize with their sorrows, embrace their successes as if they were your own, and live with generosity of spirit. Human energy is finite. Instead of wasting it on jealousy, channel your efforts toward achieving your own aspirations. By doing so, you will discover new horizons, live with purpose, and find peace within yourself. 4. Let go of the torments of the past. The past is like a shadow. It cannot be altered, only accepted. Life's journey is like a vessel that cannot carry excessive weight or endure too many burdens. Clinging to the pain of the past, combined with worries about the present, only leads to unnecessary torment of the soul. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to let the past control your present. When the time comes to release something, let it go. Don't hold on to memories that bring nothing but pain. When you have something, treasure it. When it is lost, be grateful for the experience and let it rest in peace. Holding on to the past is like dragging heavy chains. Release them, and you will find true liberation. Beyond painful memories, people often carry attachments to desires, wealth, lust, fame that embed themselves deeply in the heart. These cravings resurface, disturbing peace and driving us to chase illusions. However, if we cultivate self-awareness, embrace life's impermanence with courage, and let go of such illusions, we free ourselves from harmful desires. This liberation brings clarity, confidence, and a profound sense of peace. Remember, a pure heart is not one without scars, but one that has learned to let go and move forward with grace and wisdom. The timeless philosophy of happiness in Old Paris. While modern Paris may feel burdened by throngs of tourists and the complexities of immigration, the Paris of a few decades ago was a city of unmatched elegance, refined culture, and sophisticated charm. Every corner, every wall, and every cafe reflected a deep cultural legacy, embodying a philosophy of happiness that Parisians of the past lived and breathed. A young woman who had recently moved to Paris was initially perplexed by the locals and their way of life. Yet, after years of living among them, She came to uncover the quiet wisdom of old Paris, a wisdom that embraced simplicity, authenticity, and a deep connection to the past. A 50-year-old cafe frozen in time. When I first arrived in Paris, my grandfather gave me a special request to visit his favorite cafe from his youth, a place that held fond memories for him. I doubted whether such a place could still exist. Could the flavor of Parisian coffee really survive the passage of half a century? After some searching, I was astonished to find the cafe still standing at the exact same address. Overcome with excitement, I decided to visit immediately. What I discovered left me speechless. Behind the counter stood an elderly woman with silver hair, carefully brewing coffee with the precision of someone who had perfected her craft over decades. Trembling with emotion, I showed her an old photo of my grandfather sitting at this very cafe. Her face lit up with recognition. She pointed to a young woman in the photo and said, "That's me. My name is Sophia." In that moment, I wasn't just reconnecting with my grandfather's memories. I was rediscovering a Paris that had seemingly stood still in time. The cafe hadn't changed. The flowers at the door were the same. The counter, the ambience, and even the barista were unchanged. It was as if time had folded in on itself. Curious, I asked Sophia, "Why haven't you expanded this cafe? Or at least put up a sign saying, 'Historic Cafe' to draw more customers?" Sophia smiled gently and replied, "If I did that, would this cafe still hold the same memories for your grandfather?" Her response resonated deeply. In that moment, I understood that this cafe, like Sophia herself, was a symbol of something rare in today's world, a contentment unshaken by material pursuits or the race for recognition. 50 years ago, a young man sipped coffee here, basking in its charm. 50 years later, his granddaughter sat in the very same spot, welcomed by the same owner whose hair had turned white, but whose spirit remained as vibrant as ever. That is the essence of a unique and irreplaceable happiness, a quiet joy found not in chasing change, but in preserving what truly matters. It is a happiness rooted in authenticity, memory, and the beauty of remaining true to oneself. In Paris, Matthew's Ease is something I buy without hesitation, not just because of its exceptional flavor, but because of the joy that comes with it. After a Hollywood director featured his shop in a business documentary, Matthew's Little Cheese Store became a local sensation. Many would fear such fame might alter the essence of a small personal business. Yet Matthew remains unchanged. Behind the counter, he still beams with a bright smile, cheerfully welcoming every customer. "Welcome. This cheese is made by Matthew himself." Even as lines now stretch down the street, Matthew keeps his focus on the simple joy of his craft. "I'm just someone who loves making cheese. I enjoy my work and keep away from unnecessary complications," he says. When offered lucrative contracts by supermarket chains, Matthew declines. "We're happy here," he explains. "Everything we have makes me feel content. I don't need more." With his trademark humor, he adds, "I'm not rich. To me, money is like putting too much, and it will ruin my teeth." In Matthew, I see a life of genuine contentment, a quiet confidence in knowing what is enough. The traditional embroidery workshop that values its roots. My friend's family, the Molinas, owns one of the last two traditional embroidery ateliers in Paris. While the other sold its operations to Chanel, the Molinas hold steadfast to their independence. Every year, France's top designers submit sketches for custom embroidery. Legendary brands like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Dior seek partnerships with their workshop, yet Molina's mother consistently declines large-scale contracts. "If we accepted those, we'd just become another cog in the luxury production chain," she explains. "I'd be too busy to sew wedding dresses or graduation gowns for my daughters. Someday I want to sew a wedding dress for my granddaughter. Is there truly anything lacking in this world? All we need is a little time and patience. We don't need to grow bigger, we're already doing what we love, and that's enough." After years in Paris, I've come to realize that Parisians' confidence isn't about being better or more successful than others. It comes from the ability to stay true to themselves, to know when they have enough, and to cherish the beauty of their unique place in the world. As my teacher often said, happiness comes from not having too many desires. A wise person carries a quiet voice within that reminds them. Having more does not mean being happier. Happiness lies not in how much you possess, but in knowing when it's enough. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this journey. If you found this story meaningful, Don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Your support motivates us to keep creating and sharing wisdom. See you in the next video.